One sunny day in Bikini Bottom, SpongeBob SquarePants was bustling around the Krusty Krab, flipping Krabby Patties with his usual enthusiasm, but today he had a special plan. He had recently discovered a new bubble formula that promised to create the biggest bubbles ever. As he flipped patties, he couldn't contain his excitement. "Hey Patrick, want to help me test my new bubble recipe after work?" "Bubbles? Count me in!" Patrick exclaimed, his eyes lighting up. After a long day at the Krusty Krab, SpongeBob rushed home, grabbing his bubble kit. He mixed the ingredients in a giant bowl: seaweed extract, kelp juice, and a sprinkle of magic sand. "This is going to be the best bubble blowing session ever," he said, bubbling with joy. When Patrick arrived, he couldn't wait to see what SpongeBob had cooked up. "What's in that big pot, SpongeBob?" "Just my special bubble mix. Ready to blow some bubbles?" SpongeBob replied. "Ready as a jellyfish on a summer day," Patrick cheered. SpongeBob dipped his bubble wand into the mixture and took a deep breath. With a big puff, he blew the biggest bubble they had ever seen. It floated high into the sky, shimmering in the sunlight. "Whoa, look at it go!" Patrick gasped, following the bubble with his eyes. But as the bubble drifted higher, it began to attract the attention of Bikini Bottom's residents. First came Sandy Cheeks, who was busy working on her latest invention. "What in tarnation is that?" she shouted, pointing to the massive bubble. Then Squidward emerged from his house, irritated by the commotion. "What is all this noise? I'm trying to enjoy some peace," he grumbled, only to stop in his tracks as he spotted the giant bubble. SpongeBob, feeling inspired, decided to make even bigger bubbles. "Let's see how high we can go," he yelled, pouring more of the mixture into the bowl. This time when he blew, the bubble was enormous, so big that it nearly touched the clouds. "Bigger, bigger!" Patrick chanted, bouncing in excitement. But just as they were having fun, a sudden gust of underwater wind picked up, sending the gigantic bubble tumbling toward the Krusty Krab. "Oh no!" SpongeBob yelled, watching the bubble bounce uncontrollably. The bubble crashed into the Krusty Krab, creating a giant splash of water. Mr. Krabs, who was counting his money in the back, rushed out furious. "What in the name of sea cucumbers is happening here?" he shouted, eyes wide with shock. SpongeBob quickly apologized. "Sorry, Mr. Krabs, it was an accident. I was just trying to have some fun." But before Mr. Krabs could respond, the giant bubble began to deflate, making a loud pop that echoed through Bikini Bottom. The explosion of bubbles filled the air, floating gently down like confetti. Instead of getting mad, the townsfolk erupted in laughter and joy as they popped the smaller bubbles, enjoying the unexpected celebration. Even Squidward couldn't help but crack a smile as he swatted at a bubble floating near his face. "See, Squidward? Bubbles make everything better," SpongeBob said, grinning from ear to ear. With the chaos turning into a bubbly party, Sandy joined in, using her invention to create even more bubbles, while Patrick danced around trying to catch them all. Mr. Krabs, seeing the fun and excitement, couldn't resist joining in as well, laughing and encouraging everyone to enjoy the bubbly bonanza. As the day turned into night, Bikini Bottom was alive with laughter and bubbles. SpongeBob looked around, heart full of happiness. "This turned out to be the best bubble day ever," he declared. Patrick, still chasing bubbles, chimed in, "Yeah, and it was all thanks to your bubble recipe." SpongeBob smiled, knowing that sometimes the biggest accidents could lead to the most unforgettable fun. And as the bubbles floated away into the dark sea, Bikini Bottom knew they had created a memory they would all cherish.